Hello, and welcome to the NNLM All of Us Community Awards Technical Assistance webinar. My name is Sharon, and I am an engagement specialist with the NNLM All of Us Community Engagement Center. If you are watching this webinar live with us and have questions, you may ask them in the chat. CEC staff are available to answer your questions or schedule a future consultation. A downloadable copy of these slides and this video will be made available on our website. For today's webinar, I will overview our organization, the essential details about our awards and eligibility, important dates to keep in mind while applying, how to apply with suggested tips, and how we can support you during the application process. The NNLM All of Us Community Engagement Center is a partnership between the network of the National Library of Medicine and the National Institutes of Health All of Us Research Program. The NNLM provides our members training, outreach, and funding to improve access to health information. All of Us is NIH's precision medicine initiative to advance healthcare through enrolling 1 million or more participants to contribute their health data. Together through the CEC, we provide resources for NNLM members to raise awareness about All of Us and to partner with communities who are underrepresented in biomedical research in order to improve health, digital, and related literacy skills. Our staff, working from all across the country, is excited to support your projects and community. Our engagement, administrative, and evaluation teams have been working closely together on the Community Awards, so you may see us pop up in future messages or calls. All information covered today can be found on our website under Funding Opportunities at bit.ly/CEC Awards. This year, our Community Awards will fund projects that meet the following goals: further individual and communities' health and health literacy, digital literacy, and/or public understanding of clinical research, build and strengthen partnerships with communities who are underrepresented in biomedical research, raise awareness of All of Us, and increase awareness and use of trustworthy health information resources to inform personal health and wellness decisions. Our application process and technical assistance are specifically designed to help projects meet all goals from planning to implementation. If you have questions on how to plan or revise a project to meet these goals, you can always reach out to us. Our contact information will be shared in a later slide. To be eligible to apply for our community awards, your project lead organization must be a current NNLM member, a public library or community-based organization, and based within the United States or U.S. territories. We strongly encourage first-time applicants and new NNLM members to apply. If you are not yet an NNLM member and are interested in our free membership, you can learn more at nnlm.gov/membership/join. You may apply for one of the following pathways to fund your project. The first is health programming, which offers up to $15,000 each to 15 different organizations. Health programming may include any kind of virtual or hybrid health community programs, such as webinars, health fairs, book clubs, film screenings, and more. The other funding pathway is digital information access, which will award up to $40,000 each to 4 different organizations. This pathway is meant to expand access and use of digital information tools in your community, whether it's sharing mobile tech kits, purchasing loanable technology such as Wi-Fi hotspots, hosting digital literacy workshops, and more. When applying, you will need to indicate which funding pathway best aligns with your project's goal. Please note that all funds are cost reimbursement and issued directly to your organization. To help you with your project planning, here are a few important dates to consider. The last day to submit your application is October 15th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. in your time zone. Application review will start immediately the following week, so you will be notified about our funding decision the week of October 15th. If awarded, once your webinar starts, you will have until April 1st, 2022 to complete your project. If you believe you have a suitable project based on the award's eligibility criteria, funding pathways, and dates, then you are ready to start the application process. All application materials and instructions can be found on our website at bit.ly/CEC awards. Please remember that all application materials must be submitted by October 15, 2021 for full consideration. To start your application, you will need to download the application materials from our funding webpage. There is an application guide that has more information on the award, funding requirements, as well as proposal writing resources. The application template is what you will use to write your proposal and prepare other attachments. You will submit this template as part of your application. Attachments include your proposed project budget, staff resumes or CVs, and letters of commitment. Templates and instructions for attachments are also provided. After you've acquired and reviewed the application materials, you will start preparing your project plan for submission. Your application will include basic information about your organization, as well as completed application template and attachments. During the application process, you will be asked for 3 identification numbers to help with the administrative side of your application and award. You may want to make sure you have these 3 numbers ready early on so you're not scrambling for them on October 15th. Your application will include the lead organization's NNLM membership ID, your DUNS number, which is a number used for organizations applying for federal funding, and your institutional tax ID. Only the lead organization for your project will need to provide these ID numbers upon submission. If you need to find your number or create a new account, you may follow the links on the screen. If you have specific questions about your NNLM ID number, you can always reach out to us for assistance. For those who have applied for NNLM funding in the past, you may notice some changes to our application process. This year, we are using a new method to streamline your planning with community partners and to help with future project status and reporting requirements. Instead of writing long project narratives, the application is broken down into shorter components that are used to describe your project purpose, plan, activities, staff, and budget. In each application template section, we also highlight how they can be used in your planning with community partners. We strongly recommend using a template to assist in your collaborative planning. We'd like to now take a few moments to suggest ways you can use the sections to create a community-driven project. In Section 1, use the project summary to collaborate with partners to design the who, what, when, where, why, and how of your project. In Section 2, for your evidence of need statement, discuss with your community partner their needs that the project can meet. Communities know what they need, but may lack the resources to meet those needs. They will likely have the evidence that needs to be provided in this statement. They will also inform you on how they will work with you throughout the project, which is another requirement to include in this section. You will also provide letters of commitment directly from your community partners. These letters should outline the specific roles, responsibilities, resources, and contributions or activities undertaken by each committed project partner, should your project be awarded. In Section 3, the work plan is a great tool to plan and discuss the project in detail with your community partners. Use the work plan in your discussions so all parties collaborate on the project design and agree on all specific responsibilities. The work plan should also serve as a guide for the letters of commitment. In developing your work plan's content, the CEC recommends applying the SMART framework to outline your objectives and activities. SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. More information on the framework can be found in the application template. In Section 4, the staff plan is essential in making sure everyone is clear on their role in the project and in demonstrating there's enough support to ensure the project can be accomplished. Your community partner will provide their contributions in the staff plan. In Section 5, you will create a budget. Be transparent with your partner on the funding you are requesting, what it is for, and what resources are needed to carry out the project. Use the budget to verify the activities in the work plan and the staff support in the staff plan. This is where you may discuss with your partner the most cost-effective methods for activities, such as already in place translation services, or where critical infrastructure is needed, such as not having a virtual platform available for your event. Budget discussions serve as the reality check with your partner in ensuring all the impactful things you are planning can get done. Throughout the process of working with your partner, consider jointly working on these documents rather than presenting drafts to your partner. The collaborative effort can be the basis for new partnerships or reinforce existing ones. When preparing your budget, please make note of the items the community awards will or will not fund. Remember, funds are cost reimbursement and issued directly to the organization. Your budget may include the following costs: staff, equipment, materials and supplies, communications such as publicity materials, consultant and contract fees such as speaker fees, and indirect costs. Our awards will not fund food, furniture, or promotional items. However, some of these items may be allowable if they are integral for your program. For example, you may need food supplies for a cooking class or pens so attendees can take notes. More information about allowable costs can be found in the application template. You can also reach out to us if you have specific budget questions. Once your application materials are all prepared, you are ready to submit them through our online submission form. We recommend filling out the form using a Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, or Microsoft Edge web browser for optimal functionality. If you experience any issues with uploading your files, you can always email them to us directly at lib-nnlmallofus@uiowa.edu. Use the subject line Community Award Application so we don't miss your materials. Once you have applied, CEC staff will review your application the week of October 18th. We will evaluate your application based on how well it aligns with the award goals and the feasibility of your project plan and budget. You can see our evaluation rubric on our funding webpage, so you know exactly what we are looking for in your application to determine funding. After you submit your application, all formal communication about your project and funding decisions will be sent via email from our address, lib-nnlmallofus@uiowa.edu. Please make sure our email is added to your contacts to avoid important messages from going into your spam folder. If you are offered funding and accept, a contract will be initiated to reimburse your organization for project costs. Our home institution, the University of Iowa, processes these contracts, which can take up to 4 weeks. Therefore, we will work closely with awarded organizations to complete and submit all paperwork in a timely manner to ensure you have as much time as possible to implement your project. If awarded, you may begin project activities prior to signing the contract, but you will not be able to submit any invoices for reimbursement until the contract is complete. To assist with your proposal, here are a few do's and don'ts based on our experience reviewing NNLM applications in the past. Many of the common pitfalls of proposal writing can be remedied by following application instructions and using the SMART framework, which can be found in the application template on page 6. We also indicate where these tips may be most helpful in your application. First, don't name a partner without meeting their needs in your project. You also want to avoid vague letters of commitment or too many to-be-determined factors in your staff and work plans. Do collaborate with your community partner when creating the proposal. Do not forget to focus on the award goals. You want to make sure your project goal and objectives are specific and relevant to the award goals previously mentioned. Don't plan a project that cannot be achieved within the time frame outlined in the important dates. Your project plan should be attainable and time-bound within the time frame given. Do not be vague about using NNLM, and All of Us resources. Your application should specifically name those resources you plan to use in your project. For more information and specific examples and ideas for resources, you can look at page 19 of the application guide. Don't count or measure things that are not aligned to the project goal during evaluation. Your work plan should include some ideas of how to measure your outlined project objectives. Don't add filler costs or ask for an amount above the award funding limit. Your budget should be adequate and include resources for your community partners as well as your own organization. Your budget should align with plans outlined in the work and staff plans, as well as the technology plan if you apply for a Digital Information Access Award. Finally, don't include vague or repetitive language in your application. Do make sure your language is concise and intentional to clearly convey your project to reviewers. As you prepare your application, the CEC is here to help you. If you have questions about your project and budget or have technical issues accessing or submitting application materials, do not hesitate to contact us. If you receive funding from us, we will also support you to help you keep track of your project progress to ensure success. During the application period, the best way to reach us is by filling out our award interest form, and a CEC staff member will respond within 3 business days. You can also email us directly at lib-nnlmallofus@uiowa.edu. This concludes our Technical Assistance webinar for the Community Awards. The CEC is excited to support public libraries and community-based organizations, and we can't wait to hear from you about your amazing projects. This recording will remain available online, and a copy of these slides is provided on our website and in the description below. For those who want to learn more about All of Us, we will now play a short video about the research program. Thank you and have a great day.
Meet Ray. Ray lives on a farm. He loves playing kickball with his grandkids, but lately he's gotten a little slower and been visiting the doctor a lot more often. This is Kim. Kim lives in the city. She loves to exercise, cook healthy meals, and can't remember the last time she called in sick. They're both people, but not all people are the same. And yet, when we visit the doctor, our treatments don't look that different. Why is that? Because we just don't have enough information to do it better. Until now. Enter All of Us, the research program based on precision medicine. Precision medicine is a revolutionary new approach to treating and preventing disease that's personalized instead of one-size-fits-all. By gathering health data from 1 million people like Ray and Kim and Trevor and Samir, our country's best researchers will be able to develop treatments that are as unique and complex as we are. With this new information, doctors will have a better understanding of disease so they can innovate the next great breakthroughs in medicine. Once enough people join, suddenly everything changes. Information becomes clear, patterns emerge, and simple data transforms into life-saving knowledge. This means that Ray and Kim's children and their children's children can live longer, healthier lives. By becoming one of the first 1 million people to volunteer, you can help reshape the entire future of healthcare for generations to come. If we can figure out how to fly, put a man on the moon, and connect the entire world, surely we should be able to improve the future of healthcare. Not just for Ray and Kim or even you, but for all of us. Sign up at joinallofus.org. The future of health begins with you.